I'm going to share a concept today that is near and dear to my heart. And I've shared it on this podcast before. It's not new content. It's not a new concept. It's not the first time I'm sharing it, but I'm inspired to share it at I guess in isolation on its own. And this is I don't know, it's been a radical shift that's happened in my life over my transformation. But the question I want to ask, and I want you to ask yourself, is do you wake up every single day feeling like a miracle? Now, if you're anything like me, if you're anything like, well, there's two phases to my life. There's, the I guess 2016 and beyond before Mike Kitco, and there's the, 2016 and after. And right now, I gotta admit that I kind of feel like a miracle, and it feels good to feel like a miracle. But that old Mike Kitco, that 2016 and before, that Mike Kitco felt like a freaking mistake. That Mike Kitco didn't feel like a significant, valuable asset in this world. That Mike Kitco felt like a problem, like a mistake, like a coincidence, like just a happy accident. And it feels a whole lot better feeling like a miracle. Now, here's why I'm asking you this. You are a miracle, whether you know it or not, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. You are a miracle. And let's break this down. Some smart person at one point said that there was a 1 in 400 trillion chance that you were going to be born. Now, I challenge that. I don't think that's true. I think it might be more like 1 in 400 quadrillion, which is like another comma up from trillion, or quintillion. I think it's even more than that, because like this universe is 13, 14 billion years old, and every single thing that happened in the course of human history had to happen exactly as it happened in order for you to be here. Think about that. Think about everything that's happened, everything that's transpired. Think about the gradual unfolding over billions and billions of years to make it possible for everything to line up exactly as it did so that you could be here right now. Think about the potential of one asteroid hitting the Earth, knocking it off the course. Think about how the placement of the Earth, and if it's maybe a couple miles one way or a couple miles the other way, maybe it's too cold, maybe it's too hot. If the Earth is knocked off its axis and starts to spin in a different way, or maybe if the moon's knocked off of course, and an asteroid or something hits the moon, and now there's no gravitational pull on the water, and now the water supply, I don't know. Think of all the things that line up perfectly in this universe, in this life, and in this world, so that you can be here breathing. So I don't think that 1 in 400 trillion chance is true. I think it's more. I think it's bigger than that. I think the chance of you being here was as close to non-existent as humanly possible, as possible. You were the strongest sperm in your daddy. You're on a rock that's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, that's hurling like at freaking thousands of I don't know, thousands of miles per hour through the universe. It's going around a ball of molten freaking gas. I don't know if that makes sense, but 20 million degrees Fahrenheit at its core. A rock hurling through space. Like there had to be certain environmental conditions in the world. Rain had to fall at certain times. The environment had, like, our ancestors came and migrated all around the world. And think about this. Going back 100 generations, if two people 100 generations ago don't meet, then and don't procreate, then you're not here. Think about how many things, you can call it the butterfly effect if you want. If you've ever studied the butterfly effect, you change one thing in the world and everything else changes. There's no insignificant thing that happens on this planet. One little ripple can create a tsunami somewhere else. Nothing happens in a vacuum. Nothing on this planet happens in isolation. And you change one thing and you change everything. You change the slight timing of maybe when your mom and dad met. You change some slight timing of when your father's parents met or your mother's parents, and you go back generations and generations. You change one decision. You change one single outcome. You change one single thing about any of your ancestors' life, and likely you're not here. And we live in a universe that's still expanding, and yet everything is perfectly lined up and suited so that you can breathe and you can continue to take inhales and exhales for a finite period of time, 70, 80, 90 years. But everything is lined up perfectly so that you can continue to live and breathe, make choices. You listen to this podcast. You listen to this episode. You're listening right now. And maybe there's something in this podcast episode that trips something in you that decades from now might cause some other outcome to transpire. And it all goes back to me being born, me deciding to podcast, and then you listening to this podcast, and then maybe adopting a new belief, maybe seeing things differently, maybe sharing with your son, your daughter, your offspring, maybe sharing with them one night at bedtime saying, do you know that you're a miracle? And that changes the course of human history. Think about the impact that anything in this world can have. Just pause for a second and reflect on how much of a miracle you really are. Because if you don't feel like a miracle, we've got some work to do. Because you are a miracle. When I started this journey, and the first time I heard that I was a miracle, it was like I wanted to refuse to believe it. It's almost like I didn't want to feel valuable. I didn't want to feel like a miracle. I didn't want to feel good. I was so used to feeling shitty. I was so used to feeling worry and doubt and fear, and so used to punishing myself and rejecting myself. I was so attached to my mistakes and to my problems and to the decisions that I made that created pain in my life and in my family's life. I was so attached to my darkness and my shadow and the pain and the struggle and the torment in my life that I didn't want. It's almost like I wouldn't relinquish any of that so that I could feel good. And that was all a choice. Those are all decisions. When I ask you if you feel like a miracle, likely the answer is no. Because if you look at the amount of pain in the world, if you look at the amount of suffering, if you look at the amount of sacrifice, how can people who feel like a miracle subject themselves or subject others to pain and suffering and torment? If you have that little voice in your head that tells you you're a piece of shit, then in some aspect, in some respect, you don't feel like a miracle. You don't identify as a miracle. And that's a choice. That's programming, that's conditioning. And we're conditioned by people who don't feel like a miracle to not feel like a miracle. And we've been passing this on for generation to generation to generation. And the madness has to stop. The fact is, the chance of you being born was so absolutely almost non-existent that you can't not be a miracle. We breathe free air, everything that we need to survive. Food grows out of the ground, rain falls from the sky, free air all around us. We're living in a world that basically is a big zoo, jungle. It's gorgeous. We've got animals and we've got wildlife and we've got temperatures and we've got mountains and oceans and we've got like everything you could ever imagine is in one place. And as far as we know, there's no other place like it in the world, in the universe. And yet we're blessed to be here. And we continue to wake up every day. And maybe you just haven't taken time to realize that you are a miracle living inside of another miracle, which is the universe, or living in a world that's a miracle, living in a bigger miracle that is the universe. And see that if anything changed, if something slight changed in the course of human history, in the course of universal history, then you wouldn't be here. And the fact that you're here is gorgeous. And we should celebrate that every single day. When I say that my life is radically changed, that's because I started allowing myself to feel like a miracle. Now, what I'm going to invite you to do, and I've shared this before, I've shared this simple technique, and it's so profoundly powerful, but so few people do it. It's almost frustrating. But you are programmed to think and feel like you think and feel right now. And at any point, you can begin the process of reprogramming yourself to think and feel at a higher level. Now, what I'm inviting you to do is to sit down and close your eyes and breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth and begin to think. Think thoughts of being a miracle. And then feel the emotions associated with being a miracle. Feel the freedom. Feel the joy. Feel the love. Feel the wealth. Feel the prosperity. Feel the significance. Feel the value. Feel the awesomeness of the miracle that you are. Now, if you think these thoughts long enough, frequently enough, and you feel these emotions often enough at a greater magnitude than your current emotions, you will begin to reprogram your body and your mind to think and feel these new thoughts and feel these new emotions. And you will literally realign your body and your mind with being a miracle. And then when you do, thinking that you're a miracle or feeling like a miracle won't be so foreign. It won't be so weird. It won't be so woo-woo. You won't easily reject it. Someone might say, do you know that you're a miracle? You say, yes, I know. I recognize that. I feel that. I feel that. And that's what we really want. We all want to feel good. You want wealth. You want success. You want new toys. You want new materials. But what you really want is the emotional payoff from those things. That's what you really want. You want the joy and the peace and the happiness associated with those new things. And you can have those new feelings, the emotional payoff from those things anytime you want. Sit still, close your eyes, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Think higher level thoughts, think next level thoughts, think thoughts of being a miracle, feel next level emotions, feel higher level emotions, feel emotions of being a miracle, of being miraculous, of being the most significant, valuable, worthy human being on the face of the planet, just like everybody else. Feel those feelings and think those thoughts. And if you do it frequently enough with a higher magnitude of the emotions that you currently feel, your body will begin to reshape itself to feel these new feelings and think these new thoughts as your default state. And that's when you can truly be and live as the miracle, the real miracle that you are. And here's the greatest secret. This has been documented in so many books, Think and Grow Rich and Science of Getting Rich and As a Man Thinketh and The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, that when you think higher level thoughts and you feel higher level emotions, you'll attract the higher level experiences and opportunities to you. Because your thoughts are the prayer and your emotions are the magnet. Your thoughts are the prayer and your emotions are the magnet that draw these new circumstances, these new outcomes, that draw these new experiences into your life. So when you think like a miracle and you feel like a miracle, you're going to attract miracles into your life. And it sounds woo-woo as fuck, but this shit works. And it's only changed my life, and it will change your life. If you are willing to think things that you wouldn't normally think and feel things that you wouldn't normally feel and do things that you wouldn't normally do, you can become who you are not right now. To become the next level, you need to think at the next level and you need to feel at the next level. So why wouldn't you put yourself into that circumstance, into that experience right now so that you can become the person capable of reaching the next level, thinking, feeling next level, and then ultimately being at the next level and attracting circumstances, outcomes into your life that show you the next level life that you are. The bottom line in all of this, ladies and gents, is that, first of all, there is no reason to ever feel shitty about who you are and about your life. Second of all, everything you think and feel about yourself is a choice. And third of all, there's no reason not to think and feel like the miracle that you are. You get the choice from second to second, from moment to moment, whether to feel good about yourself in your life or whether to feel miserable about yourself in your life. And you are making that choice. The circumstances, the outcomes, and the experiences that you're experiencing in life are not creating those internal states. You are choosing those internal states. And you can choose differently at any time. 1 in 400 trillion. I challenge that. I think it's more like 1 in 400 quadrillion or quintillion. Keep adding commas. I think it's bigger than 400 trillion. I think it's bigger. think there was even less of a chance that you were going to be born. You are a fucking miracle. It's time that you think and feel and act like the miracle that you really are. And this is why I say every single day, I want to wake up feeling excited for the life that I get to live. And at the very end of my life, when I'm getting ready to take that last exhale, I want to recognize the miracle life that I lived and go, that was fucking awesome. Take inventory. If you don't think and feel like a miracle, it's time to get to work. Reprogram yourself to think and feel the miracle that you truly are and leave everything else behind.